In this episode of Mighty Car Mods, the Honda B Series goes in the Mini.
Welcome to another episode of Mighty Car Mods.
Now, last time you saw us, we were pulling all sorts of things out of this Mini and we were throwing them in the bin. And in their place, Martin, we're putting in this Honda Civic engine, which is from a JDM Honda Civic Type R.
The Mini A Series engine was getting the arse, and the B Series, the beautiful B Series, buxom behemoth of bangability, I don't know, four banger thing is going...
Bangability, well done.
Going up into here.
So everyone, there it is. Martin is fanboying over the Honda, which is a frightening, exciting and sensual moment in Mighty Car Mods history. Anyway, last time we had a little bit of an issue because our steering rack wasn't working. Now, why wasn't it working? Because this is a right-hand drive Mini. We're on the correct side of the car over here, and here come the comments. And so the steering rack wouldn't fit. And so we had to make some adjustments, and those adjustments were larger in scale than a flapper wheel was able to fix or remedy. As such, we had to call in the professionals, didn't we, Martin?
That's right, and there's a kit that is made by Minitech, the same guys that make this beautiful thing of B Series bangability awesome. They make a little panel that actually goes in and sort of pushes the firewall back but still keeps it nice and rigid.
Yeah, it recesses it by probably 3 or 4 inches, and that gives us enough room to hit the steering rack. Now, there's still a couple of little complications that we need to attend to, namely of which we've got to shave this before we erect that and get the insertion shot. But other than that, today is an exciting day, Martin, because it's going in, isn't it?
The engine is going into the Mini.
Yeah, it's going in and not coming out again is the plan. The B Series Honda Civic engine is banging the Mini from the front. It's pretty exciting. It's a big job. Before we kick off, I would just like to acknowledge Miles Stinton, everybody.
Dose Vader, everybody.
What a legend. Where would we be without him? Still hanging.
Middle of an intersection, maybe?
Yeah, probably. Anyway, let's get to it. Now, Martin, something else has happened without my knowledge, which is also not surprising. More Subaru parts.
Yeah, I wonder who could have been responsible for this. It was him.
These coils have been taken from a Subaru engine and then modified so they'll fit our Honda B16B.
Would you like to tell me what's going on here, why and how and all the magic?
These are better, for starters. Coil-on plug is a much better option. Internal igniters, it's a lot easier. You don't have to have a bulky distributor on the engine. In this case, we need to keep the distributor because of the crank angle sensor that's inside. But we were also restricted for room to refit some other components in the engine bay. So by changing to coil-on plug, we got rid of all the leads and we were able to reduce the size of the distributor cap so we can fit all the other stuff in the engine. And they're Subaru parts, so they're better.
Dose Vader, everyone. Dose Vader. Subaru, Honda, America, England, Japan, Australia.
For this next part of the build, we have called in the professionals and have an expert panel beater who is modifying the firewall. This is a common enough modification that there's actually a kit for it, and this will allow us to relocate our steering rack and get it out of the way of the gearbox. We've had some good news. Our engine mount has arrived from the USA, so I'm taking a moment to ask the car gods for forgiveness, and now it's time to keep cutting. Meanwhile, Miles has relocated the steering rack and mounted it to the subframe.
So one of the incredible advantages of doing a B series swap in this Mini is going from a 4-speed to a 5-speed. Now, as it stands currently, the car can do 110 k's an hour when it's got the A series in, but it's not that happy about it. It's like anyone with some mechanical sympathy would feel sorry for it. So we're adding a 5th gear. But the question is, Martin, this doodle just fully dungled out right in our face, halfway through the doodle. How do we, Martin, how do we change gears?
Oh, we need a shifter linkage. So in a front-wheel drive car, often you have a big shifter linkage, much like this one.
Oh, come on, man.
Much like this one, that connects the shifter up to the gearbox, because the gearbox goes that way. So it's a clever thing that mounts here, and then as you move it, it adjusts the rod thing back and forth until it changes gear. And we've got a 5-speed gearbox, which is pretty exciting. But this is for a Honda.
Yep.
Some other
this is
kind
from
of
an
Honda.
Australian delivered EK Civic.
Something like that.
Do they have a D series engine? Does someone know? Tell us all about it. We can't wait to hear from you.
Anyway, so the shifter is slightly different, but we have to cut up so much of it anyway that it's going to get heavily modified. But basically the aim of the game is you need to mount this end to the body of the car with your gear stick inside the car, this end to stabilise on the engine, and then this is the doodle that faps around and changes your gears.
But we're going to chop here, we're going to chop here, we're going to use the good bits, and then we're going to make a chain of cable ties between here and here that connects that bit to that.
We're not 100% sure that this is going to work, but we're going to give it a go. And no, we're not actually using cable ties. With this one nicely chopped up, the gear stick can go in and then we can drill in new holes to mount it. Later on, we can work out the shape and lengths of the actual linkages, which we'll modify from the original.
So at a fairly exciting part of the install, which is installing our MAD custom drive shafts. Now, custom drive shafts, if anyone's ever done them, are a pain in the bum because you've got to measure it properly, and you can make or break your build because if they're not right, you get vibrations, potentially you break them, or worse, nothing fits at all. These are awesome because they're custom made to fit this engine in this frame with this car. So, all going well, these will just slot straight in. The one on this side connects up to the funny little jack shaft thing that goes from the gearbox along here, and there's another brace thing. I was speaking to Turbo Yoda about that a little while ago. So this one will go in that side, and then that one is the driver's side.
I don't know, the other side, Martin. But basically, this is Mini on one end, Honda on the other end. This is the thing that makes this turn that, which is super exciting. It probably doesn't look very exciting,
No,
but this is the thing that makes the whap whap go whap whap.
And then unleash the unicorns. The unicorns are transmitted through here.
There's a lot, isn't there, through that?
You know what else is mad about this? Is that this gearbox has a LSD in it too, which means no so much like one-wheel drive. You might get a little bit of torque steer, and that's the reason why these shafts are a similar size, to try and reduce torque steer.
Martin, let's install them.
Mad?
And this side is done. We've got Honda on this end and Mini on the other end. Amazing. Now onto the other side. With both sides done, our Honda engine can now power Mini hubs.
So this is our MAD brake booster with its funny lever thing, so the brake pedal pushes up there and through the booster, and it It gives us assistance when we brake. This, like the car, is a 20-year-old part, and so it's had a slight brake fluid leak around here from the master cylinder, and over time it's dripped down. It's fairly common, and it's started to rust the paint and sort of rust this. So because it's out and it's so easy to do, we're going to give it a bit of a clean up, a bit of wax and grease remover, and a bit of black paint, and then the master cylinder is also being rebuilt, which will mean it'll be nice and fresh and will not leak any more fluid anymore, hopefully for the next 20 years.
Something very exciting is about to happen inside, so the brake booster repair is going to have to wait. Yes, the engine is going in the Mini.
So it's time to put some oil in this Honda engine, and the reason that this is exciting is because up until this point, the Mini's A-Series engine and gearbox have been sharing the same oil, which is a mineral oil, but now we're going to a fully synthetic. So we're putting in Castrol Edge 5W30. This is like a modern performance oil that we use in all our mad turbo cars, and now all our mad Honda Minis as well. And there's a whole lot of reasons that I'm really excited about this engine. It's not just the power and the performance of it as well. It's also that we're just modernizing things so much. You can now just use oil that you can buy from pretty much any shop. You can get parts all over the place, and the whole thing is just getting me super, super excited. And it's not going to be too far into the future that this car is actually going to be unicorning down the highway. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it's going to happen soon. And I'm super, super, super excited.
Even though there's still so much more to do, it is such a good feeling knowing that the engine actually fits in the car, and we are that much closer to having a working and properly fast VTEC Mini.
So I was just on a Honda forum, yes I was, that happened, to find out how much oil I should put in this engine. And one of the people on there said the way you fill up your engine oil is just keep filling it up until there's oil coming out of the top of the engine. Obviously don't do that. Get online, see how much oil your car requires, or check in your manual. It will tell you how much oil you need, plus it'll tell you what kind of oil you should use, or go to a reputable source like an actual website of an oil manufacturer like Castrol, who has a website where you can check, plus an app where you can see what kind of oil and different fluids your car needs, plus how much it is. You won't always get the right information off a Honda forum, believe it or not.
With the engine oil done, a brand new filter and the levels checked, now we can move on to the gearbox oil. Meanwhile, Miles is mocking up our gearbox linkage using pieces that were left over after cutting up the Honda Civic one that we got from the wreckers. We're cutting rough lengths and then holding them together with masking tape so we can get the approximate shape and length that we need, and then we can tack them together. With it all tacked up, now we can weld the pieces together and paint them black.
So it's been another massive day, and most importantly, the engine is now in the car, which is getting me super juicy and super excited.
I feel rekindled and rejuvenated and revigorated, and lots of other words that mean I love Honda VTEC in a Mini.
There's lots of fiddling and stuff still to go, and sometimes getting the engine in the car is kind of like, you know, when you see a frame go up of a house,
Yep.
the frame goes up in like 1 or 2 days, and you're like, wow, it's done. But then it takes like another 8 months for them to actually do all the stuff. It's not going to be another 8 months, but I would say for the one day of actually getting the engine in there, there's probably realistically 4 or 5 more days of fiddling and jiggling and super mingling to actually get it working.
There's things like wiring, little bits of plumbing, like where's your heater going to come from, where's the hose is going to go. And again, this is customizable. We have the benefit of a kit to do the basic framework, but all that stuff still has to be customized.
Yeah.
So we're in the right place with the right homies.
We are, Martin. So tomorrow, we'll kick back into it. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Of course, you can keep your eyeballs on the Faceballs, faceballs.com/mad minis for you and me and every monkey.
With VTEC.
Yes. And there it is. Thank you very much. We're in Noosa, so we're going to go and eat some Noosa burger. They like up here, acai bowl is what they eat.
I'm taking my boost.
Yes.
And going away because it's metaphorical for the boost that's been taken from the Mini, but unicorn power has been put back in. So I'm taking this boost away as a symbolic. You need to take it as an offering to the VTEC. I don't know what I'm talking about. I felt like it's a booster and it had boost and that was a good thing. But
Martin, we're going to go and eat an acai bowl because that's what they eat in Queensland. You know, an acai is like the untasty, ugly, expensive brother of the blueberry.
Wait, acai costs more than a blueberry?
Yeah.
There's something wrong with the world.